arranging this very important discussion, I believe. And I think it's important because no matter how many times you watch the so-called collateral murder video, the video we've just watched, it's still shocking, it's still barbaric, and it still raises the question, who did this, with whose money, and on whose authority? And that question couldn't be asked unless that film were in the public domain. It would be simply an unknown, unrecorded, and those people unmourned by anybody else but their families, if that piece of information weren't in the public domain. And that's what Julian Assange and WikiLeaks did, not just with this film, but over and over and over again with pieces of vital information which the public is entitled to know about, entitled to discuss, and entitled to hold their governments to account about. And that really is the importance of this case. I think that this case, the Julian Assange case, is the freedom of press case for this century. And I think that the decisions that are handed down by the courts will have an effect not just on Julian Assange's future, but on the future of a free press and on the work of every journalist. So we've got three people here who know more about this case than anybody else but Julian Assange himself. Maybe Stella knows more about it than Julian Assange knows about it. But there's a lot of history here. This is a story which goes back more than a decade. But I think it would be a mistake if we didn't first discuss what's happening now, immediately, in this country, in this country's courts, at what stage we've arrived at in the United States attempt to extradite Julian Assange to face charges under the Espionage Act in the United States. This would be the first time that any journalist has been tried under the Espionage Act. It follows from Mike Pompeo, then director of the CIA, his designation of WikiLeaks as a hostile non-state intelligence agency. In other words, to recategorize the business of journalism as spying. So that's what the extradition case is about, the attempt to get Julian Assange to the United States and try him under that act. But to give you some more detail about exactly where we are and exactly what's at stake now in the courts, I'm going to ask Stella Moris to talk to you. She's Julian Assange's fiancée. She's also been a member of the legal team for Julian Assange for an extremely long time. She's a graduate of SOAS and attained master's degrees in both Oxford and Madrid. So there are a few people better qualified to let you know what's going on. Stella.